Hey, 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 it's JenzTEN96 day 22, and I decided to do something a bit different today because I'm going to be late back to my house. I've been on the road from where I live to the main town. Santa Teresa is a 40-minute, if I walk fast I could do it in half an hour, okay? And it's just one main road. You can probably see where I'm walking, and it's like this for a good, I think it's a mile actually. I'm not sure how long this road is. So I thought I would do my video on the hoof, and just finished listening to Lee Simmons' podcast, and he was talking about how much freedom and agency we have, and not to get upset about various things. It's not worth it. And after yesterday's podcast around my question number 5, which is are you willing, and there I talked about the various fears, reservations, doubts, motivations, etc. that come up. Just 1 second. I wish there's a pause button. 1 second. Anyway, those emotions that come up that prevent you from actually be willing to take the journey. Actually, I don't know why there's so much traffic on this road at this time. It's normally quite quiet. That's why I thought I would do the video now, but it seems to be pretty busy. Let me just check the time. 1 second. Yeah, it's 20 to 5. Obviously people are going home from work. I picked a bad time. Anyway, so talking around the fears and reservations, etc., about going for your heart's desires, your goals, your North Star, all of that. Just think about the fact that there is actually nothing to fear. Fear does not exist. It's what we make meaning of when in a certain situation, like I talked about, I think it was the day before yesterday, looking at the teapot. Is it the handle or the spout? And we're looking at the same thing. And fear is something that we create within us because it's innate, and it's innate within us. It's a protection. It's like the ego protecting the self from any danger, because the whole idea of the body, the mind, the soul, maybe not so much the soul, but the mind, ego, is all about protecting the self from any danger. It'll go to any cost, give you an illusion that is fear, right? That so that you won't go forward for something. It'll keep you comfortable, not to go for the unknown, because you don't know what's going to happen. So therefore, don't go for it. Just don't go. Just stay where you're at, in your 9 to 5, in your comfortable little place, in your people-pleasing mode, doing what you're supposed to do as a good little girl or good little boy, and do that until you retire, and you retire on a pension that you can't live on, and the money that you were actually generating before, you couldn't live on that. So how can you live on your pension? But you've not prepared anything, you've not gone for your dream, you've not actually lived a life that needs to be lived. Go for exploring the world, exploring the planet, get into various different kinds of relationships and healing relationships that have in the past that really caused a problem for you and the person or the people. Look at ways of actually going on that journey of healing, going on that journey of exploring, being curious. And part of going for an audacious goal, something that's really ridiculous to aim for, is going for the impossible. And if you even get halfway, a third of the way, a fraction of the way towards that North Star, that impossible, it's you got off your butt, you got off your backside, and you tried something and you got so far, and you could say, yes, I made it to this point, to point 1, I made it to point 2, I never made it to point 100, never made it to point 100, but at least I got off my backside and stopped sitting in the zero zone, not doing anything, not experiencing the different emotions that would come up. And as along the way, as you're experiencing the journey, you know, elation, it could be jealousy, it could be the actual said fear that I'm talking about. It could be that you're feeling that, and how do you deal with that? Yeah, these things that come up. There's the sea over there. You probably can't see through the through the jungle, but you can just about, well, I can hear it anyway. I can hear how near the sea is. So this along here is all jungle in front of the sea, okay? And then on the other side here is more jungle, and then there's more houses and accommodation hotels on this side. So, you know, Costa Rica is really protective of its jungle. You know, you can't build above a certain height, especially near in this side of the jungle, yeah, and you can't build just anything. And you could probably just be allowed to build a shack just on that side. On this side, you've got the hotels, you've got the retreats, you've got the various yoga centers, you've got the farms, all of that side going on that side over there. And then you have the monkeys. I've got some footage of monkeys that I took outside my house. I'm going to try and filter that into, see how I can feed that into one of my videos as a B-roll kind of thing. Let's see. I've downloaded CapCut, so hopefully I'll be able to operate that and do that, and, you know, blend and edit, that's the word, edit the B-roll and the bits and pieces that I've taken footage of, so that you can see how I'm living a life that lights me up right now while I go for my North Star. And well, one of my North Stars, setting up a retreat center here. So anyway, yeah, just thought I'd take you on my little walk, yeah, see what I'm up to and do something different, you know, be in a different space and show you what I'm doing. I had to go into town to get some keys cut for the cottage that I was renting initially, and go to the bank to sort out this car problem in terms of paying cash. So I know how to get the cash out the bank now, and there's actually no limit on what I can actually take out over the counter, but my online banking allows me to put a limit on what can be taken out of the ATM, so that if my cards are stolen or whatever, they can only access X amount before, and while I'm actually saying my card's been stolen or taken or whatever. So you know, there's an actual limit on that, which is very good. So yeah, and talking about the videoing I was doing yesterday for the course, I looked at the videos and I thought, nah, this is not good enough. I'm not doing it. That's not good enough for me to actually put on to the course, because when I'm actually doing the podcast thing and I'm riffing and I'm just talking random stuff, that's one level that I know this is just me doing my thing. But when I'm going to be delivering a course that needs to be understood, and it needs to be motivational, it needs to be inspirational, it needs to be absolutely clear what I'm trying to get across and what people need to understand to be able to go from one module to the next and one worksheet to the next. I want it to be really clear, and I want it to be like, you know, buzzy as well, really sort of nice and encouraging. But what I produced was something really boring. I thought, nah, I don't want to be seen to be a boring presenter for my course. So I'm going to do the whole lot again. So this time as well, instead of having a script, I'm going to actually be doing following bullet points like I do with this podcast. I normally have a list of things that I think of during the day to talk about, and then I just riff on whatever what comes up, which is what you know. So with the course, I'm going to just do bullet points and then talk around each bullet points on the introduction, and then talk about each bullet point in each of the modules and the lessons. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, and see if that works, if that suits me, if I want to be represented in that kind of way. Oh, okay, a bit of traffic here. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for my courses. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm going to sign off. So thank you for watching. Thank you for taking part. Thank you for supporting the cause. And it would be great for you to get in touch or put in the comments about if you're doing the 196, the 1096. Yeah, the 1096. If you're doing it, let me know. Yeah, if you're doing it as a private thing in your journal, if you're doing it in, you know, as an audio for your own sake. But let me know if you're joining Lee and me on this journey. And, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Next project is to actually get Lee on an interview. Right, Lee, if you're watching, let's do an interview. Yeah, a BU interview that I used to do back in the day. I'll get a BU interview out of you and then see where you're at and what you're, you know, people can see who I've been following. Alrighty. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like, please share, and I love you guys. See you tomorrow for JenzTEN96 day 23. See ya.